Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today I will be welcoming a transgender performer, Joey Arias. She was a founding member of the Groundlings back in the early 70s. And I'm having her on the show today to talk about the Groundlings, because you know how much I love the Groundlings and its history. Gloria Vassie, who was on a couple weeks ago, put us in touch with each other. She was also a part of Andy Warhol's camp. She sang backup for David Bowie on Saturday Night Live one time. And I first became aware of her when she played Shim, the half-man, half-woman in Big Top Pee-wee. And she was also in Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar, and so many other things. And it's going to be pretty cool. I can't wait. So, here is my interview with Joey Arias.
Hello.
Hey, Joey. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm very fine, thank you. Long time. I'm sorry I've been so out of communication.
Oh, that's okay. I know how it is. You know, we all get busy.
Yeah, no, I had to do this hernia operation, and it's just been like 3 weeks of in and out the doctors, and just anyway. So I'm all set, ready for the operation soon, and I'm ready to roll.
Oh wow! Did they destroy your belly button?
Oh, they're going to unscrew it and put it back in backwards. Yeah.
Oh, that's no fun.
Right.
That's no fun.
So tell me about this. What are we going to talk about?
Well, okay. First, it's such an honor. Thank you for taking the time today. I'm glad Gloria could connect us.
Yes.
Talk about your career from past to present.
Okay.
So going back in time, did you fall in love with performing early on?
It's funny we're talking about that. I was just talking to a friend of mine how I started. I loved entertainment. I loved anything to do with the visual. I loved being an extrovert my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And someone said, "Well, did you feel funny during your your kind of kid years, going through teen years, and I felt awkward always. So going through puberty, being awkward was part of the routine. So I always loved it. I embraced all of it.
Mm-hmm. You did.
So.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
And then I used to love watching performances. I used to love watching the pop shows, the showing all the bands and musicians and artists and the girl groups, which I loved. And I would get up and in front of my friends and my parents and pretend I was with the Supremes or something. I was always doing something, and they always got a kick out of it and showing them the latest dances. And so that was kind of my growing up, and then getting involved with singing, because music was a big part of our family, growing up. And so I always loved singing and being in the choir and blah, blah. And then one day the neighbors heard me because they had a band and they needed a singer. And I got involved with this group, the neighbors group, and we started playing. And in school I met a young man named Maurice Jones,
mm-hmm.
who was not in our neighborhood, but he was an amazing guitar player. And through Maurice is how I met Gary Austin.
Oh.
Gary was staying at the family house, and Gary was just like a freeloader in those days. I guess he'd just come back from doing I forget the name of the original group right now, but he was doing comedy and being very Gary Austin. That kind of weird dry humor and the way he looked and the way he talked was always cracking me up. We just became really close. Mm-hmm. And then I got a record with the band with Capitol Records. And after about a year and a half, I remember Gary called me one day and said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, kind of like writing this contract out with the band, he just said, you know what, fuck it. You know, I want you to come to this show. I got this new group I just started called the Groundlings, and we have these shows on Oxford, and I want you to come be my guest. So I went, saw the show, and I was blown away. And then Gary was, talking to me about the show, and he said, well, did you enjoy it? I said, yeah. And he goes, would you like to get involved? I said, I would love to. He goes, okay, you start tomorrow. Just got me involved with the Groundlings immediately. And I think I was probably the youngest Groundling they had. I think it was like 14 years old or 15, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is like the original group. This is before Phil Hartman, before Lynn Stewart.
Yeah.
It was, Glenn Vassy, Terry Boland, Lorraine Newman, and Tracy, and God, I forget.
Archie Hahn.
Archie Hahn, yep.
Yeah.
We're all great friends, and eventually, people started showing up, and then I remember when Phil joined, and when Lynn joined, and then
Yeah.
I was there, I was there every day, taking classes every day, and I loved it. Gary was so proud of me. And then we eventually moved to Melrose,
mm-hmm.
and I was kind of helping a little bit to build, and we're doing our classes. And I remember I started from the improv. Gary would have these acting classes, and I started taking those. And I remember Gary looking at me and saying, that he wanted me to recite some thing from I forgot what book it was.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept saying, I don't believe you. I don't get it. You just don't. You're not giving it. You're not talking right. He goes, this is bullshit. He goes, I don't want you in this class anymore. And I was kind of like shocked. But then he told me afterwards, he goes, you got something in you, and I know it, and it's going to be great one day. It's just like somehow this class is not working for you, but I know you got this thing that's going to fucking blow everyone's minds one day.
Mm.
But just, you got to keep working on it. So I just keep doing my improv. And then I went for, auditions for films and this and that. And I almost got a part in the Carrie movie, but then I was too odd. I didn't really fit in with the kids' look. And then I met a friend of mine, because I had these other friends from New York that were coming to L.A., and so in '76, I decided to pack it up and move to New York. I had enough of LA. I'm originally from North Carolina, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So from North Carolina, LA, and I thought, you know what, this LA is just not really happening for me. I don't like it here. And I thought I'm going to redefine myself. And this is what I call myself, born again.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just, reinvented myself completely. And the city redefined me, and so everything I've learned in LA with the Groundlings for improv, it has eventually started really working for me. And I was, working in this clothing shop that happened to be the coolest shop in New York. And so all my improv skills and my the extrovert personality, and at the same time I had to, I met Klaus Nomi my first week, and Debbie Harry, and I started hooking up real fast with a lot of people that were not famous yet and started to become famous. And
wow.
I was involved with scenes. It was just, it was a really powerful time in New York. And then you had to really struggle and survive, and it was dangerous. And I loved it because it was just all around you, and you had to really be on your toes. And so it made me grow very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found myself, and then the next thing you know, I'm on Saturday Night Live with David Bowie and Klaus Nomi, and I remember Lorraine was shocked. She was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe that." That's a story in itself, because when I came to New York in '76, Lorraine used to invite me to go and sit there every Saturday and watch the show. Then we go party, if you know what I mean, after the shows.
Yeah.
And I would have. I was so young that the hangover wasn't so bad. But it was like surprised at some of the shit that they were doing.
So, when you first got to the Groundlings, that was when it was the Comedy Store Players?
Yeah, it was on Oxford Street.
Mm-hmm.
They were known as the Groundlings. I don't remember anything else, any other name. They were just known as the Groundlings.
Yeah, because it was during Gary's workshop. They were the Comedy Store Players when they had it at the Comedy Store. That's what Terry and Gloria told me.
Okay.
And I heard you guys were performing in a warehouse with pillows and no chairs.
Yes. It was all really, it was like penny budget, everything, but it was amazing, because what was going on stage and the improv was so top notch. I mean, Gloria was like, and Terry, I was just blown away by their stage persona and the improv that came out of them.
Mm-hmm.
As everybody else, Sandy, Albert,
Mm-hmm.
gang.
What kind of characters did you have in the shows?
I was pretty much known as the weirdo. That I always come out doing these really weird acrobatic things right in the beginning. Like if they were doing some kind of skit, I would the door would open up and I come flying out like a fish, or rolling and come doing crazy things and saying something stupid, and they would look at me and I'd leave. It was kind of like, what the hell was that kind of a thing. And then we improvised the 1940s World War II scene,
Mm-hmm.
where we were flying over Germany to bomb it and whatever. But I was one of the pilots of the plane. I did that. It was rather, I was still too young, but I was just trying to remember scenes of the movies. And there was something we started working on that. I kind of went through it, but I didn't kind of complete the rest of it was like a court hearing. The whole, like the judge, the jury, and this and that. And
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to follow and improvise, but it was kind of silly. But yeah, it worked. But I didn't say I wasn't long in that particular, workshop for that particular thing that we're developing. And but my specialty was like singing and improvising because I was a singer.
Mm-hmm.
But Gary had me singing a lot, and so there was one point where there was Joey and the Joettes, and we had the backup girls, and I asked the audience for a place and a situation and some names, and the music would start, and I'd start improvising. But sometimes my improv went a little more X-rated than most people expected, and I remember we were in high school doing this, and I came up with the most nastiest stories, and people were like shocked. And after I was just, Gary came out like laughing, but he was like, "Well, that was something that we didn't really expect," or whatever. You're very Gary, and we always talked about that. Gary always, when he talked to me, he said Joey came out in his high school and was just talking, saying the most dirtiest song that people were standing up like, "What the hell is going on here?"
Yeah. Well, Lynn told me that they did this really controversial Easter sketch that Doug Cox wrote, and it offended a lot of people. A lot of people walked out on the show, and backstage, Doug was like, "What happened? I thought it was brilliant." And Phil Hartman came over and put his arm around him and said, "You can say all you want about Jesus' birthday, but don't fuck with the resurrection."
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Doug Cox, I love Doug Cox. He's totally, that kind of like the normal guy, like kind of like plain, but so funny. He was so great.
Yeah.
But we said the thing also when we moved to Melrose. It was called Scene Night. I think it was once a month, and we would sign up for it. And I would always do some really crazy Dada thing that was really off the wall. And that was like a really exciting night that everybody came to see that. And they always looked to see if I had my name on the list. And of course, they were like, "Yeah, we better make sure everyone's here because when Joey's going to do something, it's going to be really off the wall, like really twisted."
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh my God.
It was.
Was it the best of times and the worst of times in those days?
Well, I would say say it was the best. It was a really amazing time in my life because Gary and I were great friends, no matter what. And the Groundlings became like a family. I literally was there like with them every day, and meeting McClure, getting her brother. It was just like a family. And so I really loved it. It was. I couldn't wait to get off work and get to class and do a show or whatever. But I was literally there all the time. And no, I don't think it was the worst of times. The worst of times would have been like someone dying on us or whatever. But I didn't. I never. Or maybe the day we moved out of the Oxford into Melrose, or maybe that was like a little bit of like uneasiness for everybody. That seemed pretty exciting. But I always have a positive view on change and movement and experimenting and growing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you guys were like the last generation of support and camaraderie in comedy because, you try to start an improv group these days. Everything's about what's in it for me, how much money am I going to get. It's just, it's not like it used to be.
Yeah, nobody talked about that. Nobody talked about getting money. Everybody was like, how can we support each other? How can we make this better? How can we explore and push the envelope and make it accessible for people? And it was amazing and to support each other's talents, which is great. Nobody was trying to steal the spotlight unless it was going to be like a scene from a soap opera, which was hysterical,
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, it was, everyone supported each other. I don't remember anybody taking my money. And of course, we had to support each other. So, there was like some dues that we paid to help pay the rent, help pay the light bill, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
The shows really started making money, but that was for the Melrose times. It was a larger theater.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you're right. It's like these days, you can't start a improv group because it's like, who's the king of the group and who's going to be the better one? The jealousy that goes around, and everybody wants to be a star. Like the minute they join the improv group, like waiting Saturday night's going to pick them up, or who's going to, they're going to get their own comedy show immediately,
Yeah.
See, I remember when I left the Groundlings, like it was a few months later that I remember they kept calling me saying, "We miss you. You're going to come back," or whatever. I said, "No, I'm living here now." They said, "Well, there's that gap, that empty space that was the weird person in the group. That's been filled by a guy named Paul Rubens."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Oh," they were like, "Oh my God, he's just like you. He's really funny and he's really twisted and blah blah blah." So I kept thinking, that's wild to hear that. And then weeks or maybe months later, it was like, "Oh, you got a character named Pee Wee Herman. Oh my God, it's so funny. My God, it's so great." That's why I kept thinking, who the fuck is Pee Wee Herman? But then when I did Saturday Night Live, I know Paul, all the Groundlings, everyone saw Saturday Night Live.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually Paul had his HBO special, so I saw that and I thought, oh my God, there's all the Groundlings, and and Paul's great. I was blown away by his work and his improv and his commitment to the character.
Yeah. I met Paul back in April at a horror convention. Very, very sweet man, I have to say.
Very sweet. I love Paul. I think he's got some little ups and downs there, but that is created by the person. I think he created his own ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you got a character like Pee Wee and like Cassandra, Elvira. She was a good friend of mine from New York.
Right.
And then she went to California, and then she joined the Groundlings, and then the next thing I know, there's a woman named Elvira that didn't know who the fuck that was. And someone said, see that woman that did poster on Sunset? Yeah, that's Cassandra. I'm like, what? And so,
Yeah.
So they had these characters that were very strong that you couldn't even shake, because if they went to get auditions for the movies, they would go, "Oh, you're Paul Rubens. Oh, you're Pee Wee." Oh, they wouldn't cast them. "Oh, you're Elvira." They wouldn't cast her.
Mm-hmm.
They already had that stigma of that.
Yeah.
So I think they kind of depressed them a saying that from my point of view.
Mm-hmm. I first became aware of you when you played Shim in Big Top Pee Wee.
Well, I remember they were casting that film, and my ex-manager, who's also managing Marriage to Cassandra, Elvira, and we were all part of the same group, Paul and everybody. And so the movie was going to, they were casting for the film, and then I had really long hair at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And so Paul wanted me to read and meet the producers for the movie. And when I got there, I was like, well, what am I going to do? They said, we think you would be great as this character named Shim, half man, half woman. And I talked to them and did this whole thing like man and woman a little bit. And then like a week later, they were like, hey, you got the part, da, da, da. And then when I got eventually on the set, after being fitted the costumes, that's when they had to cut my hair and I had to grow a little mustache with an eyebrow. And I lived like that for like 2 months as a hermaphrodite. And people on set literally thought I was a hermaphrodite. They said, what circus are you with? I said, I'm in the circus. They said, well, you're a hermaphrodite. I said, I'm just acting. I'm not really a hermaphrodite.
Yeah.
So, and there was a lot of great scenes in that film.
Oh, yeah.
For whatever reason, Paul wanted to flip it around and make it a love story between him and Gina or whatever. And I remember the film, the studio was very upset because they wanted to keep it light and funny and crazy.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to do a photo session for Life magazine with Paul, the fat lady, Benicio del Toro, his first acting role.
Yep.
As Jojo, the dog-faced boy, me as Shim, Misha, the tiniest man, and the fat lady. We were supposed to all be, it was sort of like, Big Top Pee Wee. And then he decided to go against that and be more like the love story. And it kind of like just took a different turn. And so that was too bad. That was too bad.
Yeah, but it's a good movie, though. My friend Stephanie Hodge played the mermaid lady.
Oh, great. She was great. I loved her.
Yeah. She's been very supportive of me. I'm going to have dinner with her when I'm in L.A. next week.
Okay, where do you live?
I live in Redding, California.
Oh, okay. So you're West Coast, by the way. Okay.
Yeah, I go out to L.A. a lot, though. Did V. Neal do your makeup?
Oh, yeah. V and I got very close because I was, like I said, I was there for like a couple of months. And so, yeah, it was great. And when she came to New York, she came to my house a couple of times. She was here for some, I forget what, but she came to my house and she came with another Rick Baker, I think, or somebody else.
Yeah.
And when they saw my monster model collection and all these monsters, they were like, oh my God. So it was great. He was just amazing. And to see her for 3 years, getting Academy Awards for makeup. I was so happy for her. So just what a wonderful, wonderful lady. And Rick Baker, the just beautiful people. Not 1 inch of like I'm that person. They were just like real people screaming and laughing.
Yeah, I did a podcast with her a few months ago, and oh my God, she was so much fun. We were just like two dorks laughing and having a good time.
Oh my God, I love when people are real like that.
Yeah.
David Bowie was like that. He was really funny and hysterical. Like a kid, like in a candy store. Madonna, same thing. People see this like bitchy girl, but she in real life she's funny and silly and stupid. But again, on the other side, she's a strong businesswoman and knows what she wants.
Yeah. I love at the end of the movie when you have that American Gothic look.
Oh, that was like hours and hours of makeup. Oh my God, I remember sitting there. That was so great. Yeah, they were like put that ball cap and they were sticking hair on it. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Gary was, but I was going back to Gary. I saw Gary quite a lot towards the end when he was like, I went to this Groundlings reading because I was Cirque du Soleil at one point. And they had a gigantic Groundlings reunion, like the old and new. I showed up like kind of in drag a little bit, and people were like, "Who the fuck is that?" And then So then finally I recognized, they were like, oh my God, Joey's here, you know. It was like all the new Groundlings, you know, I had no idea who they were. And so there was, oh, you know, the original Groundlings screaming and laughing. But Gary always, you know, always called me, and every time I went to California, I'd go visit his house in the valley with this lady and meet him out. And then I actually invited Gary to perform with me on stage in New York at the Joe's Pub one night. It was going to be a country and western country night. And Gary was my special guest star. And Gary came up and did like literally 5 songs. People were crazy. And then I joined Gary. I said, Gary, you know what? Why don't we do something we've never done before? And he's like, what? I said, let's improvise a song. He looked at me and goes, really? I said, well, start playing a little something, start strumming away, whatever. And I told the audience the same thing, like, we need a place and Dave or whatever. And we got it, and we started improvising. And I looked at Gary, he would improvise his lyrics. And everyone was going crazy. It was like such a big hit, this show. And then afterwards, Gary said, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. He goes, I have never improvised live myself a song. I've been a teacher. I've been doing this and this. He goes, you made me come up and improvise a song with you. And you know, and it blew his mind. He was really very honored and blown away. And of course, he was going on telling, you know, saying you have blossomed so beautifully. You turned into like a really incredible artist, and I knew it was in you. I know it's in you, and you still have it. You know, it was very, very touching. It was from Gary. I loved him very much, and he was going through his cancers and this and that, and then when he passed, it was really hard. You know, I missed him a long time, and you know, but yeah,
I can imagine. I also love it when you played the hitchhiker in Elvira's movie.
There was a couple of scenes where it popped in and out, but they cut all that out. But yeah, no, that beginning was great. I remember when they said, okay, we're going to shoot the scene, and I literally rolled in dirt and water, like to get filthy. And so when I got in the car, I hoped it was, because I was going, you look like shit. They were laughing. Kind of a Charles Manson rotten character, you know.
Yeah. You look like a werewolf with all that hair.
Oh my God! Well, that was a fake beard. I think I could grow a little bit of a beard in those days, but I think it was like some fake hair, and that was my own hair, and then we drew some eyebrows. And it was very bizarre. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
crazy.
You had a role in 2 Wong Fu.
Oh, the 2 Wong Fu. That was another weird. For like a couple of years, I heard about they were going to do this movie that was kind of based on Priscilla, but something else, and they were looking for 3 actors. And they sent me a script to read for Chi-Chi, you know, to read for John's part. But they weren't casted yet, so I was really like, oh my God, this is incredible. And then finally, I want to do this, I want to do this. They'll get back to me. Then they didn't hear anything. Then all of a sudden it got casted. And then we're casting for the film, and I was determined to do that film. I said, I've got to do this fucking film. And then someone said, well, you know, they're done. It's all been cast already. So I was really pissed. And then one day someone said, you know, they're doing one more casting again. And I went there dressed as my character, Justine, into the office, and I was very ballsy about it all. And they were laughing, and then we did the audition, and they were separating people, and I kept thinking, oh God, they're going to throw us out. They got rid of all these other people, and before you know it, I was one of the characters. And so Patrick Swayze, his mother was a choreographer on Big Top Pee-wee. And so we became friends. So then, and during that, so back, you know, for 2 Wong Fu, I've been doing this show called Strange Fruit, channeling Billie Holiday. That was a huge hit in New York. And celebrities and blah, 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 we started singing, you know, whatever, coming, and pop stars. And then one night someone said, you know, Patrick Swayze was here, or is here. And I was like, wow. I was right. They said he had left with somebody. So here I am, like, a couple of days later, on, you know, in the rehearsal room, and everyone was getting Patrick and Wesley, and Patrick sitting with cigarette dark glasses and talking to people, shaking hands, and I went to him and I said, "Oh my God, it's a real honor to work with you on this film. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a great time." And I said, "I know your mom. I met your mom. We worked together at Big Top TV." He goes, "Oh my God, you did?" He goes, "I was on the set." I said, "That was those 2 days I was off that you were there." And he's like, laughed. And then I said, I also want to thank you for coming to my show the other night." He looked at me, he goes, "What show?" I said, "Strange Fruit." He took his glasses off. He said, "You're that person that sounded like Joey Arias that I saw?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh my God." He goes, "After I saw that show, you fucking blew my mind. I called my wife, I called friends. I said, you come to New York, you got to see this show. It's going to blow your mind." And he got up and hugged me and kissed me. You got the guys in the big book, "John, wait, my God, this is what I was talking about." They were all like going crazy. And after that, he had his hands all over me the whole time.
Oh my God.
And then he had me come into his dressing room and change with him. He was like, "We're going to be friends. We're going to be partners." And I was like, "Oh," I was really nervous about that, but he was really cool. And then, we wanted to change. He said, "Come on, let's change. We're going to get." And I was like, "Oh, I'm going to go." He goes, "No, take your clothes off. You're all wet from rehearsal." And he was standing there naked in front of me. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm shocked." And he would try my back, like, just like kind of cool buddies. I was like, I was kind of blown away, actually. He said one day, he goes, "I really want to fuck you so bad. You don't understand." But I told my wife, and I told her, "You're going to get back here. You're going to come to New York real soon because I'm really horny and there's somebody I want to stick it in." And whatever. So when I met her, we laughed about it. I said, "I'm glad you got here because your husband was ready to put his banana inside me." She was laughing.
Yeah, I always had a crush on John Leguizamo in this movie.
John was hysterical. He was
funny.
He had the script, but he really improvised a lot. I mean, I remember the B.D. Wong or whatever her name was, the director. She was like, "Well, that's not part of And he was like, "What are you talking about the thing?" He said, whatever. He followed it, but he really turned it into his thing. And Wesley was like a pier queen, a black pier queen, literally. He was "Missy, girl, honey." I was like, I didn't say like you're a macho superhero. I was like, "All right, black queen, work it out in the sun." And we're laughing, and they were just amazing. So when you see that beginning scene, and people are screaming and yelling, it didn't show a lot of my scenes because I was the one that was dive bombing and rolling on the floor, and people were yelling at you because it was such crazy antics. And at one point they do show me go between someone's legs, I forgot who it was, and screaming, but they cut a lot of that out, and so it looked like something else. But I was doing a lot of shit on that. We had like about a month of rehearsal for that scene.
Wow. Any good stories? Any good stories from Flawless?
Flawless, Joel
Schumacher.
Joe Schumacher. I was laying in bed one day, and the phone rang. Someone said, "Joey Arias, yes, Mrs. Schumacher wants to speak to you." And I said, "Oh, all right." And they're like, "Schumacher, what?" But I heard, "Oh, Joey," and I said, "Yes." He goes, "It's Joel Schumacher." And I said, "Hi, Joel." And I'm thinking, like, wait a minute, not the filmmaker. I said, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "Oh, well, I'm coming to New York and we're going to shoot a film." So I wanted to hear him say that. I was like, "Oh my God, great. That's something for me." He goes, "I want you in my film, hands down. But I want to see you in person anyway." He goes, "You got to be in this film because you are Joey Arias. You are royalty and you're legendary. And I need you in this film." I was like, "Okay." So I went to the casting call, but basically when I walked in there, I walked in his office and he literally got on his knees and bowed to me. And just said, he goes, "I am beyond honored that you're going to be in this film." And then he cast Raven and I as the bad queens, but we weren't dragging till the end. And then the whole bit was all shot and done. He apologized and said, "You know what? I feel really bad because I should have used Raven a lot more and added you more to the scenes." And he goes, I wish I could reshoot and do some other things, but we already I want you to meet. And he just stepped aside and there's Robert De Niro. I was like,
oh, I can imagine.
And he put his hand up, and Robert he put his hand up, "Hi, how are you? Because I'm supposed to be in this film," and blah, 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 blah. I wasn't in a drag or anything. And I said, "I'm so excited about being in this film. It's really nice to meet you." And I'm a good friend of his daughter, Trina De Niro.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, "You're not going to believe this, Robert." He goes, "Do you mind if I call you Robert?" He goes, "No, no, please." I said, "I'm a good friend of your daughter, Trina." "You know my daughter, Trina? Oh, my God." So it kind of made him, like, he warm up to me more.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice guy. It was nothing like the films. I was so... When you first see him, you think like gangsters are kicking the shit out of you.
Yeah.
But he was so timid and so sweet and soft-spoken and kind of shy. I mean, I was like, it's nothing what you expect from the movies. Anyway, it was great. It was great. Really great.
No, that's wonderful. Yeah, I heard he's a nice guy. He's really shy and all that and quiet.
Yeah.
So, do you have any upcoming projects?
I've been doing a lot of concerts. I'm kind of working on something where I started kind of adding stories to the shows. It seems like the stories have been taking over. And then somebody said, "Have you thought about doing stand-up?" I'm like, "It's not my thing, really." They were like, "I mean, you're fucking hysterical." I said, "Why do I have to stand up? I could sit down and tell the stories." And they're just a sit-down comic. They were laughing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of working on this music part, this thing, whatever, and I'm working on with some people in my autobiography, which is like totally over the top. There's a lot of stories I haven't told you. And a lot.
Yeah.
Because when I was a kid, I used to hang out with like the Family Stone and all these pops. It goes on and on. It's really crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm working on that right now. I'm selling my archives right now. I just sold a lot of what I call the intellectual property to Harvard, and that was great. It was good money, and now it'll be in Harvard, and so people are able to look at these things and learn and what it was like to be growing up as me in a scene with, because they kept saying that the archivists and the college kept saying I was like the missing link in the DNA of like of the New York of like music, fashion, gay, straight, avant-garde, etc. They said there's all these things, but there's this one little that's missing, and you're like the missing link to this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting ready to also take some classes at Harvard starting next month.
Nice.
Which blew my mind. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm ready. I'm going to start planning the program. And then I just read for a Broadway play. I'm not going to say what it was, but it was pretty exciting. It looks like it's kind of like thumbs up. But I'm waiting for the next to see what the next workshop or what we're going to be doing for the next level of that. So there's that in the works. And, it's kind of a lot, yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful, though, Joey. I'm very happy for you.
Yeah, my tender ages. People keep, don't you think you just, I said, well, I never think about age, ever. I just think about the way I feel.
Yeah.
And I still feel like I'm 25, even though I know there's things I can't do, really, I can't go jumping on stage and flopping like a vicious dude and all that stuff, but I'm still looking really good and still out there and going up, 100 miles an hour. I'm in great health and knock on wood,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so far so good. It's all good. I'm really excited about that. And I always tell people, I always talk about the Groundlings no matter what interview I do. I always talk about my improv skills because people are always like so blown away how fast I move. When I did Cirque du Soleil, I improvised. I co-wrote the script for a song. The director wanted me to improvise throughout the show. He said, "Okay, we know the point or the life, and you got to introduce the different characters in the show, but in between you could do things and say things and whatever." So I got to play a lot and improvise a lot,
mm-hmm.
and I got to try things out that it would take them to experiment with a scene or something in a show that it would take a month to get on stage, I would tell them, you know what, let's just do it now. We're going to go out there. Do you want me to do certain things? And I would just do it that same night. They were just blown away. They were like, it went seamlessly. You did a beautiful job. You know, let's keep it in, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty fast now with my improv, you know.
Yeah.
That's good. I always thank Gary Austin. You know, Gary Austin was the one who put his finger on me and he said, you know what, you got it. Maybe you stop happening strong right now because you're young, but I want to see you. I want to see this. I want to see you years from now and see you turn into it. He did. And he was like very proud of me. And we always, I just thank him so much for all that. And all the Groundlings for support and for being a family that we are. You know, I just did a concert maybe 3 months ago in LA. And Lorraine and Lynn and Tracy showed up. And they were just like so their mouths opened up, like, you know, they were like, wow, you really turned into something, you know.
Oh. Well, Joey.
Yeah, very touching.
Well, Joey, I'm glad we got to talk today, and I'd like to talk again in the future when these projects become, you know, more that you can talk about.
Yes, coming to fruition, exactly. When something pops to be like, okay, I can talk about this now, I can talk about that. But I hope I give you enough information for this podcast that who's ever listening, please enjoy yourself. And please, whatever you do not listen to this while you're naked, because I'm not going to be responsible for what happens. The privacy of your own business.
Oh, no, you've been great.
You know how podcasts are. People get really nasty. They get real sexual when they hear my voice. I'm like, oh shit. Oh shit. It's like talking to one of those 6 phone calls. Hi, baby. My name's Diane, and I'm ready for you, Dad.
You've been great, Joey. Thank you so much, and you have yourself
a real pleasure. Real nice talking to you.
And you have yourself a good night over there.
All right. Thank you so much. A wonderful day.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Right. Bye-bye.
Well, there you have it. Joey Arias. Ain't she a sweetheart? Yes, she absolutely is, and I'm glad we got to talk. Great stories. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, add me as a friend on Facebook, join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes.